Oh, there we go. We're now live streaming on Facebook. And greetings and welcome, everybody. Namaste to our global Peace Tribe family. And Scott will be with us in about 5 minutes. He said 2, but let's give him 5. And perhaps those in the Zoom room can put in the chat where you're from and what you're up to and what you love today. What's hot for you in your life. And yeah, here we are. So I'm going to start us off with a little song, and by the time I've finished the song, I think Scott will be with us, and that's going to be rather awesome. So here we go.
Welcome, Scott. Told by the ancients, is the story true of a new world that's birthing the hearts of me and you. Sent from the heavens, a message through the veil, a message through the veil. And so come all ye who are cold and lost to a new way of being and a kingdom pure as gold, a kingdom pure as gold.
What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Hello, dear friends. It's good to see you. I am just literally getting squared away in a hotel room. Thank you, Adora, for your wonderful dancing. And welcome, everybody, to the Awakening World. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and Omashar, thank you so much for getting us off to a great start.
You're welcome, and you cut things really fine, young man. And it's funny because I was so nervous. It's funny, the nerves get in the way of, I've got everything written down of what I should do, live stream, recording on, bumper video. I did the live stream and I went straight to my song and then did the bumper afterwards. So it's the completion backwards principle tonight.
I think it's awesome. It totally works for me. And welcome, everybody. We are going to have kind of a special show tonight. We want to hear from some of you. Who are some of your favorite presenters, some of the people you really enjoy seeing on the show, luminaries? To be very honest, the guests that I had lined up for tonight, something came up and they had to postpone to June. And it was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? So we're going to do an Omashar and Trish and Scott night. And then Trish said, no, Scott, that's the night that I'm graduating from college. And so you get Omashar and Scott as your live guests, and all of you, like Mark Denisovsky. Mark always has something wonderful to say, right?
Hey, do you have an amazing photo of Trish somewhere?
Let me forward it right now.
I do actually have it somewhere, but I have to.
I can forward it and put it on my phone pretty quickly. So here's the deal. Trish comes from a family that was very, to be honest, very poor, lower middle class and lower class. And she had, nobody in her family has ever graduated from college, ever. And tonight, right, or actually this afternoon, she successfully graduated from college. So we're very proud of Trish. So what I thought would be kind of fun would be for everybody to either put in the chat box, or if some of you want to right now come online and share a congratulations to Trish. There she is.
Yay.
An AA in sociology, an AA in psychology,
Amazing.
and a paraprofessional certification in social work. And some of that, I think, was connected to the work that she does with us. You know, she brings in all the wonderful people talking about social justice and racial equality. So we are very proud of our Trish, who right now is probably mildly or semi-inebriated as she's at her graduation party. And so we appreciate and respect that. So if anybody wants to come on camera and congratulate her, just raise your hand. Mark, I was counting on you.
Mark.
So Trish, starting to watch this show years ago in 2020 when it was Straight Talk on Fridays. It's been fun watching you come into your power. And so it's over the course of 3 years, you've been gaining more and more authority within your strengths and more confidence. And it's been a beautiful thing to see. And I want to congratulate you. And boy, you're going to have fun at Berkeley. You're going to have a bunch of motivated peers to challenge you and inspire you, and a great world-renowned faculty. So more power to you, Trish.
Yes, thank you, Mark. That's awesome.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
And I'm going to switch over to my big computer where I can do more.
Okay.
So maybe if anybody else wants to come on and say anything, you do something, and I'll be back in 60 seconds.
Okay, starting from now. Yes. So anybody else would like to do an on-screen? How about you, Bonnie and Roger? Hey, Eleanor. Let's do Eleanor. Eleanor, here we go, love. You can unmute yourself, sweetheart.
No.
Okay. I don't know Trish all that well, really, but I am so impressed with how open she is and how deeply reflective she is. And she really rocks the boat. And I think we've all learned a lot from her. And I admire her for stepping into her truth, no matter what it looks like.
Yeah, I agree there, Eleanor. It's kind of like she does rock the boat. However, she rocks it in a very gracious way. And it clears the path for some more information to come through. So thank you for that. And where's beautiful Ian tonight?
Oh, you're still muted, Eleanor.
Ian has another very, very important event and he couldn't make it.
Good. Well, please give him our love. It's lovely to see you dancing around and rocking it
Yeah,
rocking it out. Thank you.
Yeah.
And here
Thank you.
is Bonnie and Roger. You can unmute.
There's Bonnie and Roger.
I thought I did. Yeah, congratulations, Trish. Way to go. How awesome is that? And being accepted to Berkeley, my God. You go, girl.
You are just an amazing light, and you are far beyond your years in how you conduct yourself online and all you have to offer. And we're really proud of you stepping forward and furthering your education. And we're just really proud of you. Keep going.
Now,
Yeah.
what a bright light in the world.
Yes, indeed. And I know that dear Therese would like to say something as well. So thank you, Bonnie and Roger. This is going to be compiled for posterity. So there it is. Hey,
And dear Therese, you need to turn on your camera.
she actually had it on, it just disappeared.
Oh, there she is.
Yay.
Okay. Can you hear me though? Am I speaking?
Yes.
Yes. My telephone's different than the computer. Obviously, they all are. Oh gosh, Trish, as I said in the chat, am the proud parent. That's how I feel with my arms around you. You spark stuff in me, and to not hold back. And I really emulate, as I've said a number of times, your candor. But now for you to accomplish this degree, my alma mater is UCSB, so we will be sisters in the UC program. So bless you. Thank you for all you give to me and all of us in your life. I love you. Congratulations.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Thank you so much. Anybody else want to share anything? And thank you to you, Trish. No. All right. Well, we are going to play some fun videos from the past. So please put into the chat box who you would like to see. And I'm going to start off with a video that's from a couple months ago, but some of you might have missed it because it was at the very end of the Saturday night edition of the Awakening World that I did. It was when we were collaborating with the New Living Expo. And the last person to come on was Caroline Casey. I don't know how many of you caught it, but she is a hoot. And I know she's one of Trish's favorite people. So I thought we'll honor Trish first with your recommendations or your acknowledgements, and then by playing one of her favorite people.
Let's step.
And so we are going to hear from Carolyn Casey, who is a wild one. She's been on KPFK for many, many years. And she's a combination astrologer, comedian, social activist. She's a character. So while we're watching Caroline, please put into the chat box if there's any particular luminaries or musical artists that you'd like to see besides Omashar. Of course, we'll have more Omashar tonight. But anyway, to get us started, here's Caroline Casey. And she's fun.
Into the traveling now, right? Let's say I like to think magic is a willingness to cooperate with everything. So I've just come from the Pioneers Conference where I've presented for 23 years. I do the astrological, mythological, political, with music, call in what's needed. So astrology really is the original language of participatory interrelatedness. And so each planet really represents a living quality of intelligence that resides within us and connects us to the world. So even right now, as I speak the planets, I will translate them. But so I'm on a tour, which I call the Majnun Endogenous Indigenuity Tour. Majnun means crazy for the divine. And I learned that when I was in Syria with wonderful friend Deborah Falmouth, and we stopped outside the Baghdad Cafe in the middle of the desert and outside Palmyra, and there was this fabulous Bedouin, and he had fossils and altars and magic things everywhere, and he was so playful. And my friend Deborah said, "How did this happen?" He goes, "Majnun, crazy for the divine."
Coming.
You're muted, brother. Crazy for the divine, you are. Your microphone's off.
Sorry about that, you guys. Let me try again. I was pulling up Patu and Antoinette next. That's a request that we got from Eleanor Joy last week. And I will find some magicians for you, Roger. But let me go back to Caroline Casey, and I do apologize.
And there was a brief note from Eleanor saying that she would love some of Pato and Antoinette's wisdom, not just simply their music.
Oh, well, boy, okay, make it that much more complex. I think we can find some. All right, where were we? Where's Caroline Casey here? I'm glad that we're all friends and family, that you guys can all be kind of chill and a show like this. Oh no, how come it's not? That's interesting. All right, let's try again here. I'll optimize. It's being a little ornery. Wow. All right, we're gonna have to do it another way. Sorry about that.
And indigenous and endogenous indigenuity. Endogenous means, we have receptors for like DMT and cannabis. We have receptors for mythology. We have receptors for wisdom, and again, whatever we speak to, we're calling it forth. So language crafting is part of it. We say, One definition of maturity is to have access to all of our resources, all of our skills. So this beautiful language, we'll just do a little bit now of what I'll be doing actually at Open Secret on Thursday at 6, and then a longer language crafting, magic participating event with at the New Living Expo. That's Saturday 2 to 4. But yes, what fun, what a great time to gather. So in all languages, the word vessel means container and boat. In all languages. It's just wonderful. So we are here now, even in this little microdose way. This is our vessel, our cauldron of cooking things. And the word craft means power from dedication. And it also means boat. So our craft, our dedication to our craft, even right now, this moment, makes our boat sturdy in the wild seas. So off we go. Just a little bit of the astrological part. So each planet represents, our inner democracy. Saturn is the part of us that defines things, dedicates, takes vows. And so it is the part of us that we most tend to outsource its authority, outsource to sociopathic dingbats who are the lowest devolutionary nadir of our rogue species, as evidenced all around us. Danny knows well, we all know well. And, Thursday, the Tennessee Senate booting out, two, Black representatives who were standing with the youth, and the youth were chanting, ban books, ban drag, kids are still in body bags, right? And the two Black representatives who stood with them were kicked out. Biden, Harris are like, this is outrageous democracy. So many ways to participate. And one is, so we want to insource our own authority just now, from where we've scattered it out there, and this is a daily practice, because whenever we get panicked or frightened, we've outsourced our authority, and it's like, pull it back in. All of these practices. And to insource our authority is to suck the chi out of external authoritarianism. It's the inner and outer kind of dynamic. So part of the dance of now, and again, I'll speak the astrology, and you can, if you know it, that's great. And if you don't, just let it kind of wash over you for what's useful. So, right, we're in the, as Danny mentioned, we time this way holy week by, Easter is the first Sunday after the first full moon after the vernal equinox. So here we are. So the full moon just a couple of days ago, it pulls everything up. Ooh. And now we're in the crypt. Now we're Crypt Saturday. Tomorrow's resurrection, right? See, we work with everything. So the sun is in Aries right now, right next to little planetoid Chiron. So mentor. A lot of astrologers insist on calling Chiron the wounded healer, but Chiron's bored with that. Because it's true he could heal where he'd been wounded, but he never complained and he never talked about it, and it's not his chief feature. And it's a kind of modern covering up of the most important part. 2,500 years ago, Chiron was the first mentor. He's a centaur. He's a centaur mentor, as Steve Behrman says, going to take a centaur mentor journey. So he lives in a cave because he's half horse, but he is the most knowledgeable, kindest, and cultured of all beings. So he really represents the right relationship of wild nature, thin membrane, human culture. So he's reporting in for duty in a sense. And he starts a school for future cultural heroes like ourselves, right? To dedicate, to get them ready for their contribution to culture. Their tasks are impossible, as are ours, and they always succeed after they study with Chiron. So in Chiron's mythology, to be underestimated is considered a positive strategic advantage, because if you're going to do something impossible, might as well make it a surprise. And I like that when people go, oh, whaley, those people don't respect me, or they won't let me in the academic, whatever the thing is. And it's like, that's excellent. You get into Chiron school. How fortunate. And it's part of our, our undulation, We know that in the world, the egregious imbalance we're imposing on all of our kin. The sky rivers are losing their capacity to undulate. The gigantic 5,000 mile sargassum seaweed moving towards the beaches of Florida and Mexico, having lost its mooring in the Sargasso Sea because, again, the currents are messed up. So just even on another level, just even now undulating is good. And then when we move it into language craft, there's a pandemic, increase of the use of the word impact, right? Impact everything. And it's like, really, you want a short, violent encounter, do you? Just as opposed to a long, curvy influence. And Trickster says, we don't really care what you humans do. We care the manner in which you do it, that it comes from freedom and choice. To expand our repertoire of responses is to ally with nature's evolutionary genius. And so we go, all right, so there's that dynamic. So Chiron then goes on a journey throughout antiquity, and he founds these cultural centers that really existed, called Asclepions. And these were cultural centers, I've been to the ruins of one, where people went at a time of like, whoa, no certainty, of dedication. We're going to come back to power of dedication, especially now. They would dedicate to having a healing dream for themselves and their community. They get chanted down into the dream incubation chamber. They'd have a powerful dream. We have records. And then they knew, because it was common sense at the time, that they would only have the power of their dream, the power of their inner insight, once they'd given outward creative expression to this inner experience. So they would write a poem or participate in the play or plant a tree with intent, with dedication. And having done that, they'd go back to their communities as seed Renaissance people. That all really happened. And just to, all the stories are welcome. So my friend Deborah Falmouth, who lives in Syria and Vermont, right? So she said, in the West, we think of the future in front of us. In the past, who cares? She goes, in the Middle East, it's the reverse. We're gazing at the past in front of us. It's fun to try that. Future, invisible. And we're crafting the future by gazing at the caravan of our past mentors, not just humans, right? And so I also want to bring into play this realm of participatory animism. We have endogenous receptors to that. And I like to say animism, it's not a belief, it's just good manners. So I lived with an actual coyote for 19 years, 2 months, 2 weeks, and 2 days. It was a worthy experiment, evolutionary assistance to both of us. Coyotes, we've taught dogs shame, coyotes no shame. It's wheel and deal. How about this? How about that? And when I first began living with Stella Coyote, I had a Lakota elder on the radio show that I do, that Danny's been on many times, the Visionary Activist Show. It's Critique and Solution for 26 years on KPFA, holy moly, right? So I had the Lakota elder on, and he goes, coyotes, nothing smarter. And then he said, we Lakota did not hunt alone. Those gifted, and I want us all to feel the possible resonance of traditional memory. He said those gifted could go into a trance and negotiate a working alliance across species borders. And we would all hunt together with the wolves and coyotes.
Shakti Durga, what about you?
And if you want to destroy the earth and destroy our culture, have people forget that or mock it. So now is the time to remember all of our skills. Again, maturity, to have access to all of our skills that we want to play with. So one of the things that I like, and that I'll be kind of encouraging us to start and continue these practices as an experiment, is to kind of feel that, we might have been one of those people who goes backstage, a sacred place, excuse me, and emerges and goes, it took a while. It was like buying a carpet in the Middle East, but we got a deal. The coyotes want the front left leg of every other deer. The wolves are cool with that. We're cool with that. And the deer are cool with it back on stage. When we reference the invisible and the work, done, and we are decolonizing our minds in so many ways. But we go, I always keep a reference to New York Times Science article that said scientists discover that beneath and around every river is an invisible river, teeming with microorganisms, but invisible. And then it said scientists have further discovered that the health of the visible river depends on the health of the invisible river. And we go, well, this is, metaphysics 101, and science as well. We're at this time where science is proving folklore on so many levels, including entheogens and things that we'll cover all over the place. But so that idea of saying we as a species, as a rogue species, have unleashed so much cataclysmic suffering rolling at all of our kin. And so in the spirit of Coyote, to experiment with going, oh, fire, we have been most rude. Is there some way we might negotiate to make some of what's coming at us metaphoric rather than literal? And what I'm thinking of, Edgar Cayce was a real psychic, Pisces, Kentucky.
I'm going to actually stop her here just because I realized it's a longer segment and I want to get to lots of other people. But what stands out for anybody I saw her purple stood out for Dia Therese. And George said that this time, because it was closed captioning, he can follow her, because it's true, following her takes some concentration. She's such a wit. So co-host Omashar, any thoughts about what you just...
She's so funny, she's so humorous. And I love that about people who she's obviously honed her craft over all these years, and the way she speaks in tomes, TOMES, and she just throws in little bits of subtle humor every so often, and I love that because it just keeps the heart open and keeps the mind open to have joy amongst it. And so I'm just loving her, and hopefully maybe we can finish that section 2 if there's more in there.
Yeah, there is. We're actually about halfway through. I didn't realize it was a 25-minute segment.
It's not so long, and it's very interesting.
Okay, good.
Even though I saw it a few weeks ago, I don't really remember any of it. So it's brand new again. So
yeah. Well, the very first request that came in was, of course, Pato and Antoinette, and I did find something, but I can't tell if it's from just speaking from Brazil. It is them talking. So this is going to be good. This is when they were on Brazil. I don't know what part it was, but I did save it previously. So give me a moment.
Well, so they literally, I think, just Pato had just come from playing to 10 gazillion.
That's right.
Semi-naked. What is it they have there? The
Carnival.
The Carnival. So he was so buzzed. Yeah, I remember this one.
Yeah, so that was what it was. And I'm just going to try and find the better way to play it. Oh, it's being a little funky. So, all right. Sometimes it lets me play it in the advanced setting, but for some reason, it's not letting me play some of these on advanced. So coming all the way from Brazil, we've got Pato and Antoinette with us. And I had the good fortune of a week ago being with them in person. Sonoma, California, where they gave an amazing concert, and we had a wonderful conversation with the audience. And here you are now in Brazil. What's it like down there in Brazil during this incredible carnival time?
It's carnival, so it's pretty exciting, and it's pretty lively down here. It's pretty incredible, but it's kind of crazy too, because the weather. I don't know what kind of weather you guys are having up there, but I know when we left, I think they said it was snowing in California. And then when we got down here, it's been raining. They've had severe floods and raining down here. I mean, severe floods that they're like 48 people died in the floods in Salvador, in Sao Paulo in the state. But since we got here and it's been raining, but today in Carnival, no rain. It was been sunny. It's been beautiful the entire day. And even though it still says rain for the entire week, I think it's like the weather angels that they have sent us a blessing. And I keep saying this a lot of times when we go out together, is that the weather angels always kind of like really come through for us. But it was proof positive again today. It was
Beautiful.
spectacular.
Well, of course, tonight's show is all about enlightened partnerships. And so I'd love to have you speak. What is it like? Because again, you're one of those couples, you accomplish so much. You travel all over the world. You're making the documentary on Ubuntu. You're doing concerts. You have a full ministry. So tell us, what's it like to be so immersed in your service to the world while also being a married couple?
All right. So before I answer that question, Scott, I want to answer the first question about the carnival, because Antoinette started talking about the weather. And what she didn't tell you is that we were actually the headline act for the entire carnival in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Wow.
We had about 100,000, no, not 100,000. How much?
No.
10,000, 20,000 was it?
I don't know. It's carnivals. There's a lot
But
of
there
carnivals.
was
this-
thousands and thousands and thousands of people all around us. We were on a big truck and we were driving on the truck very, very slowly. We had 60 musicians backing us, 60 drummers backing us, as well as a band. The drummers were marching with us, a samba, massive entourage, plus a band on the stage with us. And it was phenomenal. As far as my eyes could see, there was people in every direction of the truck, and they were all singing my songs. So it was absolutely amazing. I don't know how she just brushed over it so lightly, but it was a band, a local band in Sao Paulo that approached me during the pandemic and asked me if I would do a song with them. And I told him to send me the song. I did the song with them, and it was a guy that had a vision to start one of the biggest samba reggae bands in Sao Paulo. So I recorded a song, sent it back to him. He put it on his new album. The song is very popular right now. Go Pato, as you may know, was a #1 song in Brazil. So you have all of the samba people coming out, all of the reggae crowd coming out as a big blend, and it was just phenomenal. Is the only word I could say.
Oh yeah.
That's the band.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, so that's the carnival. Okay, the carnival was amazing.
How wonderful to be with you right after you've had this incredible experience. I mean, I think we're all feeling just your excitement and the energy. What a high!
We just got back to the hotel a few hours ago.
Yeah, they're still partying. They're all out there in the streets.
And yes, it was very, very beautiful, very amazing. I signed a lot of autographs, hugged a lot of people, but in the end they had to take me away because it was just getting too crazy.
Wow.
We did get an experience to go to the first Black church, Black Catholic church in Brazil. And it's a big, beautiful church. It has so much history, and they hosted us. We had a meal there. We met one of the lady who's been there for 30 years serving the community. And it was a very, very amazing experience. So much history is here in Brazil, regarding the natives, regarding slavery, regarding, what's going on right now. There's just so much to discuss and talk about. But we've had a very, very beautiful time in Brazil so far.
Oh, that's.
When we come back, we're coming back again, but when we come back, we'll be sure to stop with Sri and Kira again on the way back.
Beautiful. Oh, that's great. That's great.
Well, answering the question, the second question you asked about enlightened relationships. I got to be very honest with you, Scott. When Antoinette told me about what the show was about, I didn't want to do it today. And the reason why is because at first I was just thinking about our relationship as an enlightened marriage. And then I was feeling as though I wasn't worthy to be classified as an enlightened relationship based on basically what I view as enlightenment. But when I considered it, what the show was about, I had to consider two things. The first thing was our marriage, which is evolving. And as we are becoming more enlightened, our relationship is becoming more enlightened.
Mhm.
We are not regressing, we are progressing.
Mhm.
And recently, Antoinette has been diving into so much different types of meditation and healing and the benefits of good eating, good thinking, good nutrients, good supplements. Antoinette's way of life over the past 2 years has become enlightened, you know, much more than the previous 10 years of our relationship. And so, as I let go of the past and look at the present, and based on our journey, I can have a foretaste of the future.
Mm.
And I believe that if we continue the way we are continuing together, you know, next year I would look forward, or the year after, I would look forward to saying, yes, we have an enlightened marriage. We are starting to meditate together. And we are starting to formulate a friendship, which to me is much more valuable than trying to maintain a romantic relationship when you're traveling the world and working together every day and dealing with the stresses of life. Sometimes romance is not at the top of the agenda.
Yeah.
But when you become friends, true friends, that is always at the top of the agenda. And working together and traveling together with a friend is always a pleasure. So I would say our gears have shifted and our evolution is in progress. The second thing I wanted to talk about, sorry to talk so much, Antoinette. The second thing I wanted to talk about was our partnership.
Mhm.
Now, I believe that I am a zero. And I believe that Antoinette is a zero. But when I get together with God, I become 10. Because God is the one. When Antoinette and me move together as two zeros and we bring God into the picture, we become 100.
Yes.
You know, we don't become 11, we don't become 20, we become 10 times 10. And I have seen in our journey together that Antoinette is dynamic, creative, a social butterfly. She pulls people together. Sometimes I want to kind of be reclusive because when I'm performing, I'm out there 100%. But when I come out of the limelight, sometimes I want to just go into a corner. And half the time, Antoinette's dragging me along into the limelight again, and I'm following her. And she has created, she is the inspiration of our ministry. Because I felt like I was a minister, but I didn't feel like creating a ministry. Antoinette created the ministry. Our Edentia land project, I had a vision to do it, but it seemed so arduous a task that I said, I'm going to leave it on hold for 20, 30 years. And Antoinette said, no, let's put it out there and go for it now. So a lot of the things that we do as a team, you know, Antoinette really is the visionary, you know. But I must say, as a partnership, as a spiritual partnership on a mission, when we come together on a mission, we put everything else aside and we work together very, very dynamically. So I see divinity, I see enlightenment in the service we do, in the way we give to other people. And I don't so much see it from when we're doing it or creating it, but I see it from the way that people come back to us, the feedback we get from people, and the many, many lives that we have changed. So I want to say thank you, Scott, for creating this show, and for your team for creating this show. And thank you, Antoinette, for dragging me into this show and allowing me to have some time to really think about who we are, how we've grown, and what we do in an enlightened way.
That was deep. Yeah. Trish writes, I love having this interview played. Also, the LA Convergence was that they were arguing and really appreciated the book on relationships that he was given by a presenter. His candor and Antoinette's is awesome. And I am gonna do, since we got to listen to them, let's hear what they have to play, and because we love their videos. So I'm gonna go to a Pato and Antoinette video. I'm gonna see if I can get my computer to play it in the way that's a little bit better. Yes, okay, great. Here we go. Let's heal this world with Pato and Antoinette.
Gather up the people, make we cease the warring now. Let's stop the gunshot, the bombing. Blood is overflowing and the earth is calling out. Yes, Mama Earth is in a state of emergency. Pollution of the air, the land and seas. The planetary ozone is like a war zone, and it affects us globally. Yes, we need a better infrastructure, renewable energy and agriculture. Plant seeds, give back to nature. We need to do it sooner rather than later. Let's get together now. Let's get together now. Let's get together now and heal this world. Yeah. Let's get together now. Let's get together now. Let's get together now and heal this world, yeah. Hey yo, cool dog, come in my Don. Yo, I'm feeling pain as deep as it can get. We can bleed and sweat, need to give the people self-respect. We ain't leaving yet, need to get together, make it better from now until forever. Change the weather, and never say never, cause we can conquer whatever we wanna do. It don't take a crew, just a little piece of me and you. There's natural solutions, we need to try them by using the alternative resources like hemp. Bless the liquor, use them and guide them on their way. We can fix tomorrow for them if we recognize today. We can heal this world, I know it ain't that tough. Remember, one world is enough. Rough. Let's get together now. Let's get together now. Let's get together now and heal this world. Yeah. Let's get together now. Let's get together now. Let's get together now and heal this world. Yeah.
Pollution pollution in Colorado is in the spotlight this month, and it's all thanks to a 7-year-old who's trying to get all of us to think about the products we're using. Madhvi Chatur is a 2nd grader at Hackberry Elementary School, and it's because of her passion the governor declared April Plastic and Styrofoam Pollution Awareness Month. The proclamation encourages Coloradans to use something other than plastic or styrofoam products and suggests that people volunteer to pick up trash at least once a year.
Calling all school teachers, all Greenpeaceers, all truth preachers, and all peacekeepers, yo. We're sending out an SOS to all international leaders. Now I say, rise up, all you fallen soldiers. Stand up, unite, bring down all borders. Bless the youth with food and shelter. Stop the genocide and make life better now. We gotta start with a solid foundation based on worldwide cooperation. That's the only way to change the situation and make it better for the next generation. Join hands cause the time has come. Children of the earth, daughters and sons. No matter who you are or where you're from, creation is one, so love one another. Let's get together now. Let's get together now. Let's get together now and heal this world. Yeah. Yeah, man. Right now. Let's get together now. Let's get together now. Let's get together now and heal this world.
Love those guys. Just love those guys. And yes, we're going to be they're making this documentary on Ubuntu. I am because you are. That's what Ubuntu means. And we are going to have them after their next trip to Africa. They'll be back on the show talking about Ubuntu. And for those of you who were at the LA retreat, like Roger and Mark, it was amazing having Pato and Antoinette actually with us live. They came and did the Sacred Sunday show directly with them, and that's pretty special, wasn't it, Omashar?
It was amazing, and they're so humble. It's like there's no airs and graces whatsoever. Pato and Antoinette are down to earth, in your face, and they have a mission, man, and it's a very valid, a very beautiful mission that they have, and it's nice to hear also about their relationship and Pato's reticence to come on the show until he kind of thought it through and realized that he was in an evolving relationship, and it was quite all right because we're all in that together, and so he's one of the spearheads along with Antoinette. Yeah.
Well, way back, I noticed in the chat, Dorina requested Tatiana, and specifically requested Tatiana's Ignite video. So I wasn't able to pull it up from when she did it on our show. That would have been a little too complex. But I did find it on YouTube. So we are going to get a little homeopathic dose of our friend Tatiana Speed and her Ignite video, which hopefully will play. It's being ordered. I would do it the other way. So what happens is I prefer to do it through the advanced settings, but it's only playing certain videos on advanced, and I haven't quite figured out why, but it will work if I do it this way.
The world is changing, the world's on fire. I want to do my part to inspire change. I want to make my home a sanctuary of love and peace and harmony, and be the change I want to see. The earth earth is my home, the earth is my mother. We will never have any other to help renew, rebuild, rebirth. A new way to be on earth. I wanna ignite, catalyze, take flight, burn like the sun, dispelling the night. Help humanity find its way back home. I wanna unite, stand and rise, shine bright, bring the truth into the light. Help humanity find its way back home. Come and dance, come and sing, come and pray, come and bring all you are and all you love. A new day is dawning, I feel it calling us to help rebirth, a new way to be on earth. I wanna ignite, catalyze, take flight, burn like the sun, dispelling the night. Help humanity find its way back home. I wanna unite, stand and rise, shine bright, bring the truth into the light. Help humanity find its way back home. Let's find our way home. Let's find our way home. Let's find our way home. Yeah. Let's find our way. I want to ignite, catalyze, take flight, burn like the sun, dispelling the night. Help humanity find its way back home. I want to unite, stand and rise, shine bright, bring the truth into the light. Help humanity find its way home. Let's find our way home. Let's find our way home.
I love that.
Holy
Del.
smoke. Some people just bring so much joy by their presence. And I'm so in love with Tatiana's spirit. It's amazing what one person can emanate in this world. Yeah.
We have her penciled in for June 17th, the Saturday night show, and that's the kickoff of World Unity Week. And I first met her through Ben Bowler. So she's tentatively scheduled to be with us live on June 17th. But what a beautiful message.
Fantastic.
So I received a private message, somebody asking, can I dig up a Shakti Durga video? And I did. So Shakti Durga, all about healing. And again, I'm going to see if I can get it to play on advanced, which is always better. Yes, it does. Okay, here we go. Shakti Durga.
Shakti Durga, what about you, my friend? What does healing from the inside out mean for you?
Well, for me, it's about getting in touch with your core and knowing who you are from your essence. So rather than from what thought is in my mind right now, or who just said what to me, or what emotion is bubbling up, but to use anything. You can use anything as a way to go in. You can use your emotional body to go in. You can use the mind. You can use mindfulness. You can use mantra. You can use music. But we all develop over time our own way in. And for me, I find that energy healing is a great way in for me to work on my energy field, my chakras, my centers. And for me, healing on that deep level, it seems to ripple out through the world. And so for me, it's multifaceted, but get in touch with your essence and then healing will just happen naturally.
So beautiful. Thank you so much, Shakti Durga. And what are some tools so that we can give ourselves energetic showers and clean and release and allow the things that no longer serve us to dissipate? Shakti Durga, do you have any thoughts on that for our pre-show guests?
Yes, I think that sometimes it can be extremely helpful to go to somebody who's got a lot of experience in helping people to go into their inner landscape, such as probably most of the panelists here, so that somebody can look in with fresh eyes to just see where our blocks are. Because one of the things that I notice in myself and also in clients who come to see me is that we have our blind spots and we just can't see where we're blocked. And so for us to be able to just have that other pair of eyes who compassionately look at us, so there isn't any judgment. You know, if you go to a therapist and they're judgy, just go, don't stay. Don't listen to anything they might want to tell you. And find somebody who's just got that compassion and kindness about them and who makes you feel like it's safe and it's good to be you. And I think accepting ourselves exactly as we are at this moment of imperfection is a starting place to be able to go on a deep dive to discover a whole lot of things. And even though, as some people have said and Brad said a minute ago, sometimes there's all these things that have gone wrong in our life and all this pain that we've experienced one way or another, but that is the springboard, you know, that is the signal that there's something there that we can actually use it like grist to the mill to our own dive into our own essence. And for me and for, you know, all the people that I sort of hang out with on a day-to-day basis, the gift of going into your inner core is so worth it, you know. And I feel that when we don't live from that heart-centered place where we've done some clearing, and then when we think we're clear, we have to do some more clearing, and that it's an ever-growing garden of possibility, really. I think that the tool of going and seeing a healer, going and seeing someone who's an expert on the emotions, going and seeing someone who's an expert on the mind or the soul or the Buddha nature, whatever is it you're attracted to, follow that essence of what you're attracted to, because your inner guidance will be giving you that buzz that, yes, that person kind of lights up for me. I want to go and see that person, and follow that inner guidance. And you're likely to find treasure that you just never expected. I think when you do that, it's as different, really, life becomes so different. It's like watching television in black and white before you do the work on yourself, and then suddenly the whole world's in color and you didn't know all those colors even existed. That's the metaphor I'd sort of share of the treasure of going through your stuff into the freedom that lies beyond it.
So beautiful, Shakti Durga. I have a
Thank you very much, Scott, and thanks for the opportunity to be on this program with all these luminous souls. I think one of the things that really struck me this evening was just the diversity and the way that there's a flavor for everybody. You know, we're all somewhere on the path, and the path is not the same for everybody. Everybody has a unique path, and there's a deep end to the path, there's a shallow end to the path, there's a middle bit, there's a bit where you're in the rapids, there's a bit where you're going over a waterfall. You know, there's so many different experiences on the spiritual path, and that's my passion, is the spiritual path, actually. And that's what a lot of my work is about, supporting people who actually identify with being on a spiritual path. But what I really saw tonight was so many different colors and flavors of divine grace. And what I would say to the people who are watching this is to really just listen internally to the flavors that really spoke to you, and really follow it up and dive in with those particular presenters, so that you can just get the next bit, and then another piece will open. And we just have to follow the breadcrumbs on a spiritual path to get to that place where peace is, and to reach that place inside of us where the peace has always been. And so whatever the breadcrumbs look like for you, I think there was a lot of this evening, and I'm real grateful.
I want to acknowledge anybody who's watching who's not feeling, they're not feeling that same level of inclusion. Maybe they're feeling isolated. Maybe they're feeling disconnected. Um, because, that's out there too. Maybe they're disillusioned and even wondering how can there be a God? How can there, with all this that's going on, because life is hard for some people. So what would be your message or your invitation to anybody who's in that particular state of consciousness or close to that?
I think that one of the main things to do is to be open to the opportunities for help that are available and to take them. The first thing is, it's like when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That's a very old truth. And so for somebody who's feeling miserable, and as I said earlier or last night, that's how my journey started, was because of pain. That's how I got on my spiritual path. And I think a lot of us do. So if you're feeling like that, you're not alone and you're normal. So just reaching out to the color and flavor of the person who you feel has got something, some kind of code or key for you, and start where you're at and just take one step. That's what I would suggest, just one step, and that will lead to something else.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Anything else you'd like to share that's kind of coming through that beautiful channel that you are?
I think to just take a moment for the deep appreciation of self, and that when we first start on the path, I think we look at people who've been practicing for a long time, like Kaji or Debbie or you, Scott, or Teresa or Jen, or any of the presenters, and you think, oh, wow, look at that. Isn't that amazing? But I really take the view that if we can actually perceive that, then that is in the process of waking up within us, and it's already in us. And so you're really just looking in a mirror, and you're really seeing an aspect of self in anything that has inspired you during this whole program. And so just remember that you're one with us. We're all one, and we're in it together. Yeah.
Thank you for that. And it is so important, and it really is true. That's why Teresa and I have been so dedicated to doing these shows, is to really build community and to let people that have been feeling isolated have a place to come and meet you and meet Paulette and meet all the wonderful people and get some inspiring music and hear some inspiring words and learn about the things that are going on in our world that are, our news media, of course, focuses on all the negative. And there's so many beautiful, positive things that are happening. There's so many amazing human beings and organizations coming forward to create this awakening world that we are all a part of.
Right. And I would remind people that we do offer free lift sessions on our site, thewbi.org, the Wellbeing Initiative, thewbi.org. And that if you're struggling, if you're feeling depressed or anxious, or you've got a lot of pain or relationship problems, then we offer to those who are struggling financially, we have a charitable program where the healings are free. And so there's no financial reason why you can't get the help you need. All you have to do is push the buttons on the website and let us know. And our staff will be in the office. It's Sunday here in Australia, so our staff will be back in the office on Monday. We're closed Tuesday and open Thursday through Friday. Email is a good way to contact us, and you can do that through the website. And you can also apply for lift sessions through that website. And we take the view that those who can afford to pay are supporting those who can't afford to pay. And so it's one of those lovely giving type situations.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for doing that. And again, I'm going to just give people it's thewbi.org. WBI standing for Wellbeing Initiative. Thewbi.org. And it's just click book a lift or apply here. Or if you feel inspired, donate. For those of you that are abundant, donate now. For those of you who aren't abundant, come to the March 7th Deepak Chopra event to learn more about being abundant, okay?
Good idea.
I'm going to go ahead and cut off. And I had forgotten about that beautiful offering. So again, it's thewbi.org, thewbi.org. I'll put that in the chat box because
it's already in the chat, Scott. I just put it in.
You're so good.
That was brilliant. I really loved what she said, the clarity of her and the embrace of us all. And it's kind of interesting, really. And I love that she puts out a creche for people who are in pain, who cannot pay yet, because, you know, we're all a part of the abundant world. However, some of us are working with the control panels within ourselves to allow more abundance to flow into our lives. So, yeah.
I'm going to go to some music. You know, when we had our anniversary show, one of my favorite people, Valerie Romanoff, sent a video just for us. And I didn't get a chance to play it because it arrived too late. She got confused about the dates. So this is a chance. We're going to go back in time a little bit to when we had our 3-year anniversary recently. And this is our dear Valerie Romanoff, who was, you know, really did a lot of stuff with us during the pandemic, but now she's back playing every Saturday night, so she's not as available. But we still love her, and she loves us. So here's some rock and roll with Valerie Romanoff.
There's just one message, people, straight from the heart. Love is the message, people. It's who we are. Come on, come on. The door is open. Come big, come small. You are welcome. Join in, sit out. The tide is turning. Jump up, get down. The story's burning. May every step we take be filled with kindness. Peace. Allow the power that's already in us. We'll be respected and protected. Joy. We're gonna raise the roof with good vibrations. There's just one message, people, straight from the heart. Love is the message, people. It's who we are. Lay back, rewind. Where's your attention? It flows and grows in that direction. Each move we make is transformation. There's so much love across all nations. May every step we take be filled with kindness. Peace. Allow the power that's already in us. We'll be respected and protected. Joy. We're gonna raise the roof with the vibration. Love is on the rise. No need to choose a side. Love will have its revolution. Baby, baby, there's no stopping evolution. When we stand together, come on, let's walk together. It's time to dance together. Wanna see you talk together. I'd like to play together. Come on now, get together. It's time to play together. I'd like to live together.
That was some good rock and roll for you.
That was seriously funky. How amazing she is. What a live wire. And I'm really grateful we had to see that tonight.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
I love that Dorina just put Tina Turner, who passed away today.
Really?
Yeah, and I said, Dorina just put that in the chat box. And that's appropriate timing, Dorina, because there's a similarity between the dynamic energy of Valerie Romanoff.
It's true, yeah.
And the dynamic energy of Tina Turner.
Wow, really? Oh, Tina. Another angel in heaven. Holy smoke.
George, we have had Jimmy Twyman on the show a couple of times. I will see if I can easily find it on the YouTube channel and if I can easily transfer it. But we have had Jimmy on both speaking and playing music. And Mark writes, Tina was a prominent Buddhist. You can see videos of her chanting. That's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, she's got some amazing mantras on YouTube that she put out under her name. It's amazing seeing that side of her.
Wow. Well, we're going to, go into another presentation, and we have not had Deepak Chopra on the show for quite a while. And so I'm going to play a video from a little while back where he's talking about quantum healing. I mean, obviously Deepak is quite brilliant. And I remember this segment. That's why we made a special edit of it, because you got to pay close attention because Deepak speaks kind of fast and isn't the most, you got to stay focused. But what he has to say about quantum healing is fascinating. So here we go. Please open for me. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Come on. It's being a little ornery. There we go. Here's Deepak. Make it a little bit bigger.
Hello, my friends. I'm so happy to be with you again. Today's topic is quantum healing. And I believe there are a lot of luminaries participating. So very happy that quantum healing has become mainstream. So before I say anything, I should just mention that I originally used this word in 1988. I originally coined the expression quantum healing with this book that I wrote in 1988. And it was vilified. It was criticized by mainstream, and I was attacked by many people for using this phrase, quantum healing. Since then, Dr. Amit Goswami has used this phrase. Dr. Amit Goswami is a physicist. And now, many years later, 1988? So it's 2022. So we can say 30 years later, quantum healing has been reissued with an introduction by Dr. Rudy Tanzi, who is a geneticist at Harvard and a neuroscientist. With all the knowledge that we have today about epigenetics, I think we can say quantum healing has become mainstream. But most people don't actually understand that the phrase quantum healing is used metaphorically, as is everything that we do in science. Scientific explanations are models for experienced reality. And experienced reality comes only in the form of sensations, perceptions, images, feelings, and thoughts. Once again, every experience you have is either a sensation or a perception or an image or a feeling or a thought. And of course, these have their source in pure consciousness. So if we understand consciousness as the ontological primitive, then we realize that everything that we call a physical entity is actually a phenomenon. Everything that you call a physical entity is a phenomenon. So my body looks physical, but it's a phenomenon. It's an intermittent stream of sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. That's all it is. and it is not a constant entity. So everyone's body begins as a fertilized ovum, and then it becomes a zygote, and then an embryo, and then an infant, and then a baby, and a toddler, and on, baby, infant, toddler, teenager, adult, and gets older, and then finally dies. So where is the body here? Which body do you have? If you say, I have a body, then which one? The body is an activity. It's a verb. It's not a noun. And the experience of the body is an intermittent stream of sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, period. Okay. What about the mind? The mind is also an intermittent stream of thoughts and emotions. So we said, do you have a fixed mind? Obviously not. The mind has been defined as an embodied and relational process that regulates the flow of energy and information in the body, but the body itself is also both embodied and relational. We don't have a fixed body. Okay, every time you look at a body, it's like taking a selfie and forgetting the self. Literally, also, when you define somebody's personality, it's like taking a selfie of their mind and calling it the self. The self is much more than mind and body. It's the source of all experience. And body and mind are one unit. So just like wave and particle are one unit, mass and energy are one unit, space and time are one entity, so is body and mind, but it's an entity that's a phenomenon, even though it appears as a form. So this is true, by the way, of everything. Every form is a phenomenon, and every phenomenon, at least as far as our biology is concerned, is the arising and subsiding of an intermittent stream of sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. And once we understand that, then we can also see that these experiences, this is what we call experience. Sensation is an experience. Hardness, softness, brightness, color. These are all sensations or sense perceptions. But as we look at any form, we'll see that the form itself is the arising and subsiding of sensations, images, feelings, thoughts. And what is the source? The source is pure consciousness. So what is quantum healing? It is going to the source. Okay. The source of thought is also the source of perception. It's also the source of emotions. It's also the source of any experience. It's also the source of how we define things. So labels and descriptions and metaphors, all, where are they conceived? In consciousness. So consciousness conceives, governs, constructs, and becomes everything that we call reality, including the reality of our body and our mind. And when we go to this source through meditation, and there are many ways to meditate. My new book, Total Meditation, goes into the whole range of meditative practices, including self-reflection, self-inquiry, understanding the role of emotional intelligence and self-regulation, understanding the meaning of joy, empathy, compassion, love, truth, goodness, beauty, harmony, but most importantly, understanding that when we go to the source of thought, then we encounter the source of all experience. And if we don't interfere with that, that is the source of what we call quantum healing. Now, in physics, of course, the word quantum means the smallest indivisible unit of energy, in which waves of energy are emitted or absorbed. But using it as a metaphor for the body, a quantum of experience is what we call a qualia, quality of awareness. So colors, shapes, forms are all qualia, as are tastes and smells and textures and sounds, but also emotions, thoughts, feelings, and even imagination. They're all qualia. Qualia means qualities of awareness, which means awareness, pure consciousness, modifying itself as those experiences. By modifying our experiences in the direction of truth, goodness, beauty, harmony, love, compassion, joy, equanimity, but most importantly, through transcendence of all experience. So experience can be perception of the world, it can be interoception, knowing what's happening inside the body, but it can also be emotions or feelings and thoughts, and all these are entangled with each other, and they're all modified forms of pure consciousness. So what is pure consciousness? Pure consciousness has the following characteristics. Number one, it's a field of infinite possibilities. Number two, it's a field of non-local correlation, which means everything is correlated with everything else. Today, we also call that entanglement, synchronicity, superposition, but basically everything is inseparably one with everything else. And number three, pure consciousness is unpredictable. We can't say what our next thought will be or our next experience will be. Number four, pure consciousness is infinitely creative because it is unpredictable. Direct correlation between unpredictability and creativity. And finally, it's the source of attention and intention. So once we understand these are the qualities of pure consciousness, we can modify pure consciousness into any experience through a combination of sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, perceptions. The key is transcendence, going beyond thought, going beyond the secret passages, the dark alleys, the ghost-filled attics of the mind, and going to the source of all experience, and then abiding there with a subtle intention. In yogic traditions, this is called dharana. Dharana means focused awareness, focused attention. Dhyan, which means meditation, and samadhi, which means transcendence. This is the key. If we can do that, and this also has a Sanskrit word for it, it's called sankalpa. Sankalpa means subtle intention. So unlike the Western ontological frameworks that we have about reality, where the ontological primitive of the universe is matter, we in the Eastern wisdom traditions say that matter is just a convenient metaphor for modified forms of consciousness. And the key to healing is actually getting to the source. That includes social and emotional intelligence, that includes withdrawal of the senses, that includes controlled breathing, that includes mind-body coordination through yogasanas, but it also includes interoception, which is withdrawal of the senses. And then dharana, dhyan, samadhi. These are the 8 limbs of practice that get us to the source of all experience. In that source of all experience is least entropy. And there is homeostasis. Homeostasis means self-regulation, which means hormones are being self-regulated, immune function is being self-regulated, everything, body temperature is being regulated. So if you want to use a simple word for quantum healing, it would be the return to the memory of wholeness, or return to homeostasis, or return to source, or return to the presence of being. Now, of course, there are a lot of nuances, and I outlined them in my books on meditation, which include understanding the whole totality of awareness, awareness of 5 senses, awareness of the body, awareness of the interior of the body, awareness of mental space, awareness of the web of relationship, awareness of the ecosystem, which we call the biosphere, of which we are an expression, and ultimately awareness of awareness. And when we get to that, then we are holy, we are whole, and we are healed. And that healing is ultimate healing. It means we find freedom in our inner being and understand that our inner being, our true self, is independent of all experience. It's independent of anything that we can call a perception or a sensation or an image or a thought. And in that freedom is wholeness, self-regulation, the return of the memory of who we really are. The word whole, the word healing, and the word whole, healing, whole, are the same. When we return to presence, to source, we are holy and we are healed. And at that moment, there is transcendence. We experience our true nature as beyond space, time, and causality. We also experience the emergence of Platonic values like truth, goodness, harmony, and we lose the fear of death because the true self is not subject to birth and death. The true self is formless, and being formless, it is infinite and is constantly modifying itself into finite experiences. But as long as we are aware that every finite experience has a source in the infinite, and that infinite source of being is actually the true self beyond our ego mind, beyond our socially constructed identity as an ego body mind squeezed into the volume of a body or the span of a lifetime. When we go beyond that, we are healed. That's what quantum healing is. So all the best, my friends. Join this whole movement of understanding that the physical body is actually a projection of the subtle body, and the subtle body is a projection of the causal body, and the causal body itself is the projection of infinite, formless, unbounded, eternal, timeless being, which is our inner self. Thank you, and God bless.
Well, thank you, Deepak. Whoa.
What a download, but how spot on.
He's Deepak Chopra.
Yeah.
He's just brilliant. He's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Eleanor Joy asked about John Martin, and I actually received a message from John a few days ago, and he's very excited sharing his book cover. His book is coming out soon, and we will do we'll really feature it on The Awakening World. But here you are probably the very first people seeing the book cover for John Martin's very, very special book that he's really excited about. And how John Martin-esque, right? He said to me, this is Sunday that he wrote to me. He wrote, "Thank you, dear brother. I'm improving each day. My heart rate is back to normal after a very difficult week following the urinary tract surgery 10 days ago. I pray you are well, able to do the final work to the book, and we'll be in touch. Here's the frontispiece of my book from a dead artist friend, a friend of his who passed away did that for him." So thank you, Eleanor Joy, for asking about our beloved John Martin. And we love John, and we hold him in our heart. Maximum grace for John Martin. Maximum grace for our brother John Martin. And in the spirit of appreciating those who are in our hearts, I was going to play Kristen Hoffman next, but Dorina posted her favorite Tina Turner song. And so I've gone ahead and I made an MP4 out of it while Deepak was entertaining us. And so here we go. Let's all appreciate Tina Turner. This is Eleanor Joy's favorite Tina Turner song. And Dorina Joy dedicated it to you and I, Omashar. So that's pretty special. Here we go. Tina Turner.
Come to me wild and wild.
So check it out, Omashar. That was 3 years ago. She was 80 years old. That woman you just saw on stage
80, I know, and
was
she's
80.
she's a hot woman, and holy smoke, man! I'm so glad you played that. I'm so glad that I forget who it was. That was it, Dorina and Eleanor. I didn't know whether to feel.
Dorina suggested it.
I didn't know whether to feel like really sad or really elated. One of those moments. She has blessed us all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just blown away. 80 years old, and you see in high heels the dance moves.
And yeah,
right,
brilliant, amazing, and she looks gorgeous.
She's hot,
right?
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, there it is.
Amazing, amazing. So great choice. Thank you, Dorina, for that.
Interesting. I quickly looked at Facebook and they hadn't silenced it. You know how sometimes it'll automatically go on.
Oh, right, right. I didn't even think about that. We might have tagged. They might nail us when we're trying.
Well, maybe they'll have some compassion because.
I hope so. I hope so. Or maybe because it was a live show as opposed to a record.
A pre-recorded, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a YouTube of a live show. So
we'll see. Anyway, thank you.
All right, so we have just a little bit of time for one last presenter. Do you want to watch the end of Caroline Casey, or do you want to hear the other Caroline Corey? Which Caroline will it be? Sorry, you get to choose.
Caroline Corey, what is she about?
Caroline
Corey.
George Noble jumped in.
Dude.
Caroline Corey. All right.
Yes, that was my choice.
Caroline Corey is an amazing filmmaker. She makes movies about incredible things. So here we go. Let's take a look at Caroline Corey. You got it, George. Thanks for jumping in and making the choice for us. I'm going to see if it's going to let me do it the way that I really want to. No, it's not. So we're going to do it the old way, the old-fashioned way. Come on, come daddy. My computer's a little slow today. I'm going to have to close some stuff, I think. Oh, come on. Come on. Well, while we are waiting for my computer to open up Caroline Corey, which it's taking some time with. Open with QuickTime, please. While we're doing that, I will promote what's happening this weekend because we've got 2 great shows coming. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now while I wait for my computer to catch up with Caroline Corey. I'm on my way to Ashland, Oregon. Why is Scott at a hotel? Because Scott wanted to stop halfway between the San Francisco Bay Area and Ashland to do this show. So I'm at the Super 8 in Corning, California, on my way to be with the Twin Ray. And our show on Saturday night's going to be all about what it's like to be inside a thriving community. And so you're going to meet a lot of the people that work closely with the Twin Ray, as well as hearing from the Twin Ray themselves. And Eden Amadora is going to meet me up there as well. And we're staying in the sanctuary with the Twin Ray, so she'll be my co-host. And all these people are people that run the store, run their life. They're all people that have relocated to Ashland from as far away as Germany.
Our first guest tonight, never been.
There we go. The video finally came up on that I'll show in a moment. And so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that so many people have moved to Ashland. And I know a lot of you are interested in being part of a community. I'm seriously thinking of relocating to Ashland to be part of this community. So that's what Saturday night show will be. And then on Sunday, it's another edition of Authors That We Love with 3 authors. Patrice Karst, longtime friend of mine, she wrote a children's book that has sold 1.5 million copies called The Invisible String. That led to her writing several other best-selling books, all children's books. Steve Farrell, who created Humanities Team, will be with us. He's got his brand new book out. And then Chanel, you saw her on the Mary Magdalene show a few weeks ago. And I saw that she had a new book. I said, hey, you got to be on our Authors That We Love show. So that's going to be on Sunday. So don't miss it. And now I can gratefully show the video that here is Caroline Corey. Introduced by our dear friend Kenny, who of course is the owner of the New Living Expo, and my buddy.
Our first guest tonight, never been to the New Living Expo before, but always been on our hot list, is Caroline Corey. She is an award-winning filmmaker, author and founder of Omnion Method of Consciousness Studies. Corey has been numerous UFO encounters, ESP, extrasensory, and paranormal experiences, which led to her become deeply connected to spirituality, the study of consciousness and mechanics of the universe. In 2008, she continues to lecture and coach internationally and appears regularly as a guest expert on supernatural phenomena at major conferences and television shows, including such popular series as The Unexplained and with William Shatner, Ancient Aliens, and History's Greatest Mysteries. Her latest films, among us, Superhuman, The Invisible Made Visible, and a Tear in the Sky. And she's going to be talking for a few minutes here and just tell us a little bit about it. And I'm just so glad that people who can't make it to the show get a nice little taste of what the New Living Expo is about without having to attend. So here's your virtual experience. Thank you.
Hey, Ken. Thanks for the intro, Scott. Hi, everybody. This is so awesome. You know, I've been wanting to do this conference for a long time, right, Ken? Because I have a lot of friends in the Bay Area, so I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone in person. If you are listening, you should be there finally in person. We're so close to you. So I'm very, very excited. And also what I'm going to be talking about, which I feel is very timely. I'll be on a panel. We're going to talk about UFOs and extraterrestrial intelligence and disclosure and this whole really exciting topics. But my talk is going to be on identifying your lineage, your cosmic lineage. I bet that most people listening, if not everyone listening, feels that you don't belong, you came from the stars. And so the idea is to be able to retrace your lineage back to your original essence. And so there's a lot of children that I meet that remember their past life on a different planet. And things like that. So there's a lot of truth to this. And I feel this has to do with your real awakening, because when I was 5 years old, I had this experience where I suddenly felt connected to this group of beings. I realized I could see them, hear them, sense them. I could, you know, literally see the fabric of space that connected us both. And the most important thing that I took from that experience is I understood that I was on this side of the veil in physical form, and they were my lineage, my cosmic lineage. And as I followed that stream of consciousness, I was able to literally see exactly my original home, and I was able to experience my original being. And so that was so important, because that aspect of my being is the one that knows everything that this human Caroline is doing right now, is supposed to be doing. Who am I? What is my higher purpose? What is my next thing that I'm supposed to manifest, you see? So that's the reason why understanding your cosmic lineage is not just about, hey, I talk to Pleiadians and I think I'm from the Pleiades and I incarnated as an Arcturian after that, and that's it. It's really about opening up to that original essence as you were already or originally created. And then when you do that, not only you have clarity on where you're going and your purpose, but you start to become that aspect of your being. Your entire universal aspect starts to come across through everything that you think, say, or do. So your whole life will change. And so that's the reason why this is so important to reawaken in this way. So I'm going to talk about this, but I'm also going to lead an experiential exercise so people get to do that and feel it themselves. It's very, very exciting.
I'm a big fan of yours, Caroline. You've been on the show a couple times, and I just always appreciate all that you're bringing to our world. I always remember the video of the kids playing ping pong blindfolded, right? And of course, Tear in the Sky was a groundbreaking film. Now, you've got this new video that you're talking about, and we've got a trailer that we're going to show. Do you want to introduce the trailer?
Yeah, for sure. So this film, actually, I finished it a couple of years ago, but I released it, just for a short time, and it was very limited release. I think it was only on Amazon or something. But recently, my distributor took it on, and now it's available everywhere. And it's very interesting because it's timely. In this film, we actually talk about all those different lineages. And I'm not, by the way, when I talk about lineages, it's not just the typical beings that we hear about, the Pleiadians and the Arcturians and the Gray. It's a lot more. There are certain beings that are universal. They have a massive mass of consciousness that are interacting with us. So I think it's going to stretch your understanding of intelligent life and how you may be connected. So that's why this film, I feel, is going to trigger a lot of memory, of who you are and what you are doing here. It is called Among Us. And we also talk about in the film, basically, when we have a download and we have dreams or abductions, any sort of interaction or communication or a contact experience. So this film talks about all of this, all the way to hybridization, genetic engineering. So it's very, very interesting, and again, connected to your own individual awakening.
Okay, well, here's the trailer for Among Us.
There's quite a few extraterrestrials wandering around the humanoid ones. So we've got them walking amongst us.
They weren't human at all. These were extraterrestrials standing there examining me in the room.
I thought they were very elegant, about 7 feet tall.
They live aboard their spacecraft, which is sort of in Earth's atmosphere.
They would bring me to the planet and introduce me to other kids my age, and we would play together.
And I asked him if I could hold his hand. I wanted to know what it felt like to touch them. And I wanted to know it was real.
So what you do is you take the experiences that people talk about and you operationalize it.
How is this even possible that higher dimensional energies can be downloaded or brought down into our ordinary 4 dimensions of space-time reality?
The quantum wave, which is the description of all nature, instantaneously propagated the consciousness of the Houston handler to the moon.
This is not an American phenomenon. This is not a Western phenomenon. This is a global phenomenon.
There's not only thousands, there's potentially millions of people out there that are living this double life.
They will lead us into telepathic abilities. They will lead us into abilities to heal ourselves, to literally change our body
DNA treatment number 2. What's interesting is the actual number, the magnitude of the changes that I've been seeing in the past when energy treats the DNA. This is a robust, strong effect.
There are layers of codes. There's thousands of codes layered on top of each other. You touch one part, it touches 10 other parts.
All of this information is actually following lines. It comes through this multidimensional grid system. This means interdimensional information is going to happen instantly in locations like these.
Human DNA in our body can exist as a toroid to bring in higher dimensional energies into our physical body, convert them into electromagnetic fields, which then the body can use to regulate the physiological and biochemical processes associated with healing.
I believe this is the theory of everything.
Wow. Well, I'm going to bring Maria on for a moment. Maria, what do you think of that? What comes up for you?
Well, I had to mute because when I saw the crop circle at the end, it activated my light language. So it definitely is a soul recognition of some sort. And we know, those of us who know that we are not from here, we, obviously really connect to that story and to the truth in this. I mean, it's not a story, it's truth. So, wow, I just want to say, Caroline, how bold for you to really stand in that truth and also just to lead others in owning that and actually discovering that within themselves as well. And I was just at a resort for a coffee the other day and I saw a woman walk out to the spa pool and I took a second look and I knew she wasn't human. I knew that there was more to her. Of course, I didn't say anything because who knows, but I mean, I just had an immediate recognition. So, I think those of us who are really tuned into this and understand it, we're starting to really recognize each other as well. And of course, we're coming together to create peace and unity and all the things that we're really here to do. So thank you.
Yeah, exactly. It took me a while before I started talking about UFOs and things like that, and being an alien, and but that's why I'm making these films, to encourage people to finally just be who they are. This is the time, and that exactly what you just said, Maria. When people will watch this film, it will trigger their own awakening, their own remembrance, and hopefully they will start to get more and more comfortable to just accept and allow and recognize and discern, and that's how they're going to awaken, who they are and what they're here to do. So I hope everybody watches this. Yes. AmongUsMovie.com.
Here it is. I put it in the chat box. You go to God'sAmongus.com. God'sAmongus.com. We'll get you there. And then when you get there, you can watch the trailer again. There's the background story. And then you can, if further up here, just click Watch Now and look at all the different ways you can watch it. Apple TV, Amazon Prime, YouTube, all the main places have it. So I know that I want to watch that. It's
awesome. And then with people, if the people want to do more work on themselves, I have a lot of sessions and classes, free on my YouTube channel, but also on my main website, carolinecorey.com.
Yeah, absolutely. And when she says she has a lot there, I'm going to take people there. She has over 150 courses available. I mean, she's been one busy little having an earthly experience. And look at how fun some of these are. Mastering Your Guidance System, I Am the Universe, blindfold classes for adults or for kids, Becoming Superhuman, Cosmic Explorations. These are just a few that I'm reading as I look at it. So again, I'll put that link into the chat box. Caroline, it's amazing all that you're doing, really amazing.
Thanks so much. And you too. I mean, we're in this together. As I was saying, you know, we're all doing our part. So, but I'm very excited to be presenting this and leading an experiential. That's the difference also with my work. I do a lot of experiential. So people aren't just listening and memorizing, they're really feeling. They're going to be able to feel what it's like to have this lineage versus that lineage. So I'm very excited, and I hope everyone comes to this conference. I'm very excited. It's next weekend, right? So it's like around the corner.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Very
we're all gonna be
excited.
there.
Thanks so much.
Carolyn, great to see you. Thanks for being on the show, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
I got a chance to hang out with her at the conference a little bit, which was fun. It was like, I love the expos that are smaller like that, you know, where we all kind of hang out. I had lunch with Matt Kahn. I hung out with Caroline. George Noble, this is for you. You wanted Brother James Twyman, and I did find, actually it's been on 3 times, but this is a very short little 2.5 minutes of Jimmy Twyman on one of my shows. I don't even remember what the story was, but we'll see. Here he is, James Twyman for George Noble. I am so honored to be with someone I have the greatest respect for. We are looking at Brother James Francis Twyman from the Episcopalian Franciscan Order. And many of you know him as the Peace Troubadour. You've read his books, you've watched the videos, you've listened to his music. And he is, in his perfect way, as he's done for so long, going to be bringing peace to a very important region of the world. Brother James, tell us what you're going to be doing on Tuesday.
Well, first of all, it is so great to be here and to invite all of you to join thousands, maybe even millions of people on February 22nd, just in a few days, which is, by the way, 222-200-2022. That's a lot of twos. It's a very auspicious day. And already unified.org is doing a wave of meditations in 2:22 p.m. in every time zone. But we're going to be launching with a major worldwide meditation for peace in the Ukraine. Now, I have been intending to be in Kiev while this is happening. However, I just last night received a phone call from the airline letting me know that the flights have been canceled. I won't be allowed to go into the Ukraine, but we will still do the prayer vigil. We have a contingency of powerful Ukrainian peacemakers and children who are really holding the energy there. They'll be there to anchor the prayer vigil, and the rest of us are going to be all over the world. We invite you to join millions of people, because we've seen the power of when people join together, massive numbers of people, to try and realize the reality of peace in given situations. I could tell story after story, which I'll probably do later. But the important thing is we need your help. So even if you just stop what you're doing at noon on the 22nd, noon New York time on the 22nd, which is Tuesday, stop what you're doing, feel the reality of peace for the Ukrainian people so that we can begin to dissolve the tension there in the border and avoid this terrible conflict. We invite you to come, and if you can join us live online, if you go to unified.org/love, you can be with us as we invite our Ukrainian brothers and sisters to share.
Great. And everybody stick around for the after show, because we're going to hear more from Brother James Twyman. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So there you go. That was for you, George. And, you know, I think since we're kind of coming to a close tonight, and we're going to have an Omashar song to close us out, but let's just take a moment and pray for Ukraine. That video clip was from just before the war began. I think the war began 2 days later on February 24th. So let's just take a moment and hold our hearts, and let's all visualize the war's over. It's done. It's over. And may this be the last war. Maximum grace for Ukraine, for for Russia. Maximum grace for all who are impacted. May peace prevail. May we live peace in our daily lives so that it may prevail throughout the world. And when you're ready, Omashar, I'm going to turn it over to you to close this out.
All right, Ben. What a juicy show. Thank you. At the crossroads, trying to read the signs to tell me which way I should go to find the answer. And all the time I know, plant your love and let it grow, let it grow, let it blossom, let it flow. In the sun, the rain, the snow, love is lovely, let it grow. Looking for a reason to check out of my mind, playing hard to get a friend that I can count on when there's nothing left to show. Your love and let it grow, let it grow, let it blossom, let it flow. In the sun, the rain, the snow, love is lovely, let it grow. Getting shorter, there's much for you to do. Only asking you will get what you are needing. The rest is up to you. Plant your love and let it grow. Let it grow and let it grow. Let it blossom, let it flow. In the sun, the rain, the snow, love is lovely, let it grow. Let it grow and let it grow.
Wow, that's a great song.
It is a great song.
Oh gosh. Well, we celebrated Tina Turner, but I'm going to put up on the camera briefly what Rena just sent to us, and I'll read it. A quote from this incredible woman who passed away today. If you are unhappy with anything, whatever is bringing you down, get rid of it, because you'll find that when you're free, your true creativity, your true self comes out. So that's a beautiful quote. And the weekend of June 10th and 11th, our weekend is dedicated to creative expression as your Dharma. And we're going to have Kristen Hoffman, who is going to play 2 songs from her brand new album. She just finished it. I talked to Kristen today for about an hour, and she's super excited. She's been working on this album for many, many years. And the very first public performance of 2 of these songs will be on the Awakening World. And the last thing I wanted to share, since we were, talking about Carolyn Corey, we have a really fun show coming up next Wednesday night. What's it like to be happily married to an Arcturian intergalactic channel? We're bringing back Viviane Chevet and her husband, Peter Benson. And so she is a remarkable being. You've seen her on the show a few times. So that's kind of a nice follow-up to what Carolyn Corey was talking about.
Yes, great.
So I thought you'd enjoy that, George. That's for you. So, all right, everybody. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday night, live from Ashland, Oregon, with all of our beloveds from the Twin Ray, one of whom is in the room with us right now, beloved Deborah. And we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time on Saturday night. Look forward to seeing you then. Until then, remember, we can make any moment sacred by seeing the divinity in all. And I see the divinity in each and every one of you. Thank you, Eleanor, Joy, and Adora, for always dancing. You two are fantastic. I love you. And Omashar, thank you for being my brother, my co-pilot, getting us off to a good start as I frantically got us hooked up at the hotel here.
It's my pleasure. Namaste, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Yeah, and day.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I'll go to gallery view one last time. There you go, everybody. Wave goodbye. And thank you, everybody that's still here with us. I appreciate it so much. See you on Saturday.